Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Canucks with Guitars. I'm Ben. This is Terry. That's Trev. And we are presented by LPD Pedals, Reno Fin Custom Guitars, Tesi Switch, FU Tone, because you don't have tone unless you have FU Tone, PTM Guitars, and of course our favorite retailers in the whole wide world, Flipside Music.
Hell yeah.
And yes, Terry. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of people in the chat here. We got a bunch of stuff to cover on a special Sunday night, because tomorrow night we're doing a memorial show to David Nesdall that Desiree and I have been putting together. Well, I created the stream. She did all the bookings and arranging and stuff like that. So let's get into roll call.
Since I forgot to click the like. Everybody, if you forgot to click the like, do it now. I'm going to do it. Oh, man.
Yeah, hit the like. Hit the like. And speaking of lost friends, one of my favorite parts of the roll call, Terry, let's sing them out one last time. Thomas Santiago. Thomas Santiago. Rest in peace.
Where on YouTube is Thomas Santiago?
He's watching.
He's everywhere.
He's sitting next to Find a Mic and David Nesdall watching tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. So let's get to the rest of roll call. We've got William De Silva, Paul McNary and the Cats, or Avec les Chiens, James Hawking, Dave Chase, Dan of New Jersey, Scott Brockway, Blackjack Guitar, Ferd Burfel, Johnny Love, scrolling back, BC Rich 581, Earl Colai, let's see, Tim Thomas, My Knees Hurt, Sassy Cat, Presley California Customs, Scott Brockway, Paul McNary and the Cats again, Tim Thomas, Stephen Franklin, Stephen Douglas, all the Stevens, perfect. Aaron from Elvis Band is here, awesome. LRM Guitars, Hit Metal Works, Ben Allmark, great name. Charles 75N, aka the Doctor. Absolute Mayhem in the house. Herb of Fireside Studio. Mr. Anderson 59. Awesome. Charlie S is here. Scroll up. Michael B. Live. G. Marie Hawkins. Music Therapy Laz. Who may or may not be driving. I'm not sure. There's no comment to driving. Gary's here.
I don't think
Great to see Gary, as always. Mason Douglas. Good to see Mason. JP Page 2. Our resident amp guru. Billy Baloney.
Right on.
Great to see
All
you.
of our favorite peoples.
Yeah. Philip Sakura. Of course, Brother Bent Tom. And first in the chat at 4:25 p.m. today, J. Steen.
Right.
Going down to the bottom. Michael Easter. Mark's Gas Station. Michael Krause. That's all the M's. Guitar Man 45. Elephant Foot Risers.
My knees hurt. Hopefully not. My knees hurt from Elephant Foot Risers.
Oofda.
Probably not.
Gear Junkie 35. Nice. So, yes, it is live Q&A, as well as we got a few themes to go over tonight, including friends we've lost. It's been a hell of a week. Oofda.
Before I forget, I'm going to switch to live chat just in case Boner Jams comes in, and I want to be able to see his text. So everybody, if you're on,
so you
PC,
can approve his messages. Jamal, great to see Jamal in here.
Weird. You'd think if you were a moderator, you'd see all the messages.
Everyone say hey to Laz's mom. Laz is helping his mom today. Awesome.
Hey, Laz's mom.
RJ the Mad One, paint namer.
Charles, the doctor in the house.
So, early Tuesday morning. Well, early morning. Okay, early for me morning. I wasn't up long. So I'm saying all day, all night. Mm-hmm. My sister messaged me, and she said she gave me the news about our friend China Mike passing away. She had seen Henning's post, which I then saw after I spoke with her, and then I immediately reached out to a handful of people that were close to Mike. I think we're all close to Mike, but closer to Mike, I'll say. Get to that a little later. Surfer Bean, hello, welcome. And terrible news. He had, was it technically MDS, Terry? But yes. ALS, MDS. He had He had acronyms. That's what I'm saying. Natasha.
Yeah, MDS, which is the rare and more deadlier form of like Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right. So, which he had been diagnosed with about a year ago and had been presenting symptoms, we'll say, for a few months, anyways, prior to that. Yeah. And so, which was terrible news, which gutted me. And you know, I love Mike. What am I going to say? And one of the first people I reached out here was Terry, because Terry has known Mike longer than pretty much anyone else I know. Because Terry, you've known him, I'd say, give or take 10 years.
I've pretty much known him and followed him ever since probably 2010. There
we go, 13 years.
Like I said, when you talk about back in the day, OG YouTubers, Steve from Boston, China Guitar Skeptic were the big popular ones of the YouTube guitar community because of the whole chipson fad.
Right. Exactly. And and I remember, like, after I discovered Mike, I was talking to Terry, and Terry's like, "Yeah, I've known him for years. Great guy." It's like, good to know. And like, for me, I remember I came across, like, I'm sure I saw one of his Chipson's videos and didn't realize that's Mike, but, you know, like, years and years ago prior to getting into YouTube. But I don't know if you remember, Terry, it was around, let's say, September of 2018, give or take. Mm-hmm. And I was doing the show over at Rich's place, doing the Canucks show, you know, mm-hmm. Richie and I, and this guy jumped in the chat, China Guitar Skeptic. I was like, well, that's an interesting name in the chat. I'm not quite familiar. And then you had messaged me, Terry, and you said, hey, that's Mike. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. Because I remember you had just DM'd me. I was like, I used to watch the chat on my phone, and it came down. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then I looked him up after the show, and I was like, wow, he's got quite the substantial channel, you know, a lot of content, been around, you know, good size channel. And then he and I, you know, connected through social media and became fast friends. And he went off to GitCon shortly after. And then right just after GitCon, I had him on as a guest, which would have been a special when I was doing some shows during the day interviewing European guests. And hey, Graham Campbell, great to see you, my friend. And Six Stream Brian's here.
Graphite, good to see Graphite.
You know, and anybody that's ever talked with Mike, it's really hard to not become fast friends. That's all I'm saying. And Trev, as I recall, you caught, like, because I know you're newer to the community, but as I recall, you caught the last few months of his live streams last year. Am I correct in that?
I saw, I started watching him while he was still okay, and saw the decline. And when he started, I recall being at John's house, John DeShane, brother.
Right.
And I showed him his live stream. And it was after his speech started to slur a little bit, and he sounded like he was kind of half drunk or had a mouthful of marbles or whatever. And John, I told him, mate, he's got ALS, and you know he's doing it, and he's like, oh, right on. And so we can do that. And I mean, talk about giving her till the very end. He had it, you know. Couldn't even talk anymore. He'd get the computer to do it because he still wanted to produce the content for us.
His friend, I can't remember his name, Barry, do you remember? That actually, he's good with AI, and he was able to, because Mike had such a catalog of videos, he was able to sample Mike's voice and actually create an artificial mic.
I think it's Andy. Not Guitar Andy, but another Andy.
Another Andy, yes. Yeah. Thank you. And Johnny Love just confirmed that as well, Andy, yes. Graphite Cigars, good to see you. Paul Leonard Ewing. And and I remember because he would be so apologetic about his speech. And this is when early day, like, it wasn't bad at all, really. And I'd always just type it, you just sound cockney. You just sound cockney. And he'd always chuckle at that, you know. And I'm going to miss that guy, man. And Thomas was right there in the chats with us. Yeah, all over the place. You know, and Thomas Santiago, the most ironic man who's screen name was his first and last name, did not capitalize the first letters at all in his name, yet typed always in caps.
Right?
That caps lock was permanently on with that man, and that was Thomas.
Sometimes required approval because typically that's a flag.
Yeah.
All caps.
So, yeah, and I was lucky. And for those who don't know, China Mike is not his actual name, and he had told me that off air. I don't even think it was a hang on this channel, Terry. I think we were all hanging over on our friend Lance Moss's channel. Shout out Lance Moss. And he had said, Mike's not my real name. And I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, what is your real name? And with that smile of his, he says, I'll tell you when we meet in person, brother. And he did. Because when I met him, sorry if I get a little choked up, we hugged. He told me to say this in my ear.
Classy. Class act, 100%.
Yeah.
Aaron, he says I'm not an overly emotional guy, but losing Mike, as Ben knows, yeah. What Aaron said, folks, read the chat.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was, you were very fortunate enough to actually meet Mike. And, as much as I've been bound by home previously with my mom's failing health and other things, not having the resources to go to name, if there was ever one YouTuber I really wanted to meet the most, it was him. And, it definitely was devastating finding out what it was. And I can go in, hopefully, and I assume this is okay with his wife. I can give you the slight bit of details of technically what's gone on. So Mike was in the late stages of MSD, as it's called, which is one of the worst forms of like Lou Gehrig's or muscular neuron disease.
Yeah.
And
from what
I've been able to piece
didn't
together,
pregame, Trev.
Yeah. From what I've been able to piece together,
Yep.
Friday the 20th, he got a chest infection. His wife took him to the hospital. She seemed to be of the opinion in view that it looked like it was clearing up, and very quickly it turned around, went the opposite way, and I'm assuming that by Monday he was gone. I was, because of my own situation with my mother, I was there with my mom and I was there with my aunt and me when my mom passed away, slowly. And I was happy to read that his wife and his mother were there as he slowly slipped away. And that really hit me hard because of what my own experience was. But I'm glad to hear that he had that there. Exactly.
And I remember like going to those NAMM shows and knowing your situation, Terry. That was like one of the reasons I tried to do the vlogs the way I did, because to try to take you guys along for the ride. And I remember because I was, and you'd say, "Hey, can you check it? I see this booth there. Can you check them out?" Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark. And and I remember it was funny. My sister was talking because I was on the other end of it, but the night before NAMM 2020 started, I got to blow my nose. But hey, Charlie S. Oh wow! See, Charlie S. He goes way back on the channel. Just saying, way back. I always forget that, Charlie, because hashtag lifestyle choices. But glad anything helped along the way. But we went and we did our registration, and then there was the Gibson party. And I don't know who was going to be there, Terry. It's Gibson party. And it turned out that the three Amigos from England that made it over for NAMM, being China Mike, Mike Bradley, and Carl Golden, were all at the Gibson party. And Mike was live. China Mike was live, right? So from his phone, whatever. Because as Henning said yesterday during Steve from Boston, Mike loved to go live. You think Laz goes live a lot? I'm throwing under the bus, Laz. Sorry, Laz. Hey, Jerry F. And so Mike was live, and I came in and probably immediately grabbed a cold snack, or 5, or whatever, I don't know. But apparently, like, I'm filming the new Kramers are in stock, you know, Trev. And there's Mike live screaming out my name, you know, because for whatever reason, he kept saying, you know, what do I want to do at NAMM? I want to do this. And one of his things on his NAMM list was meeting me.
Checklist, yeah.
No, it's the other way around, you know. It's the other way around. Yeah, Aaron was there. He knows. And so, and then I saw Mike, and that's when the hug and the whisper, and I'm like, hello, YouTube. And my sister was watching, just laughing her ass off because, you know, Mike's yelling at me, and me being the oblivious, she knows that. What's going on? You know, just totally Mr. Magoo, Trev. Mr. Magoo. Just totally oblivious. You know?
Yeah. But things will work out. I mean, if you believe in where the universe is going to take you, is the right place. It's going to be the right place.
Pimp Daddy. Les says, where do you think I got it from?
Exactly.
Touche, sir. We got John Duchesne in the house as well.
Brother John, BC brother.
Aaron says he got Mike his first Jack and Coke at the Gibson party. Yep. And then we all ended up at the Hilton afterwards. Hey, Kevin Ramsey. Good to see you, my friend.
Right on.
So, yeah, that night got sloppy. Oof, to May.
Mm-hmm. Sloppy fun, though.
Bradford and Garga showed up at the Hilton later that evening.
Oh, God.
Yes.
There's a duo to be reckoned with.
No, Alex is very similar, I would say, to China Mike. He's actually a nice guy, but...
Alex is a great guy.
Yeah.
What's up, Unbelievable?
Gar.
So, yeah, after Tuesday, trying to get through Tuesday, then wake up Wednesday morning. I believe my sister messaged me again because she's on the face space, you know, in the mornings. And she mentioned the passing of Thomas Santiago, a relative of Thomas's, and again, sister, cousin, not sure
sister.
What a weird combination that post was with sisters/cousin.
Yeah, I couldn't figure. I don't remember because this week's been crazy for me too. So hey, Mark Dillon.
Yes.
My sister is probably at the hospital with my dad, which we'll get into now. We're just going through the week, Terry. We're just going to go through the week.
Yep. We're still digging through the
Go
month.
through things in order. Might as well.
So, yeah, Wednesday morning, find out about Thomas. There's the post someone had logged into Thomas's account to inform us of the passing of Thomas. Which, okay, fine. You know, only love chatting to that guy since before I started my YouTube channel. Sure. You know, rest in peace, Thomas.
Yes.
And, yeah, so that happened. And then, Wednesday, I don't know what happened Wednesday. Wednesday was a bit of a blur. I don't think I did much.
There was under the bus that night.
Under the bus that night, that's right. So we didn't hang out off air or anything.
Nope.
And so, and for those who may or may not, over the last couple of weeks, my father's health had been slightly declining at a time, and he's been basically bedridden for quite some time now. But it was continuing, you know, lack of energy more, and so you know my hands were full with that, and so I think he had an okay day on Wednesday, but again declining. So I was at home. Boom. Okay. Yeah. So that takes us to Thursday. Now, for a second. See any comments there, Terry? Good? No?
Everything's good, as far as I can see.
Just,
Yeah, I just need
some
to find
condolences
that.
for Thomas, of course.
There we go.
Thomas.
So, it takes in Thursday, which for those who, I know the patrons and channel members know, we have a respite care person that comes in on Thursdays, which allows me to go out and do stuff on Thursdays for a 4-hour window, to which I've been making a vlog about each week for channel members and patrons, which you can click the join button to become a member. Wow, just left out a bunch of words out of that sentence. Awesome graphite. And so that got us to Thursday. So Thursday morning at 11 a.m., well, shortly before 11, I threw some guitars into the van and had a bag of pedal with a few pedals and such. And I was planning on going over to my friend Jason's studio. Jason Hamilton from Lambert Drive Studios, who was featured in the recent Soda Pop double video on the channel. That guy.
Right. Yeah.
So the idea, my understanding was I was going over to program some drums for the song Greasy Weasel, which I've been asked for a few years now to record. Terry knows. He was monitoring the chats at that time. You got to record that. Like,
oh, God, yeah. I read it a lot.
Right. So, went over to program drums. Yeah, I'm doing another one, Trev. It's been that kind of week.
Give her. Right. You know what? You know what time it is?
Yeah, so I'm going to have
No, I mean, if you need to take a break, I
cluster.
can talk about Mike a little bit more, too. So
8 bears clustered together.
I said the night before I confirmed with Jason I was going over, Terry, and I said, is there anything you want me to bring over? Because, I don't mind lending out some gear to a buddy, right? And he says, bring your weirdest guitar pedal.
Oh, jeez.
So, folks, type in the chat what you think the weirdest what pedal did I take over for him. Packed the LPD 87, a couple of guitars, and headed over. As he said, bring your best recording guitar, too. I'm like, okay. Right. So we get over there, and he's like, so, what's the drum beat like? I'm like, I don't know what's in this pedal. We've got to plug in the pedal so then you can hear it. See, boom. First guess was the right guess.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Aaron, what you called it? Called it.
Yeah. So did Billy. So did Unbelievable. So we get over there, and so we plug the pedal into his, I don't know, interface, Terry. I don't know. It's like a 4. Oh, it's a nice. I don't know what it is. Four channel rack piece with the needle dials too, right?
VU meter.
Preamp.
Nice.
So plug it in, and he's like, "So you'll love this, Terry." He's like, "So what's the beats per minute on the song?" I don't know. He's like, "Well, didn't you write the song?" Yes. And you have no idea what the beats per minute is? No. That's a question for a drummer. I'm a guitar player. I don't know drummer questions. So, hey, Sean Zimmerman. Good to see you, my friend.
Cheers.
And so, figured it out. Turns out it's 128 beats per minute. And so, spoilers for this week's vlog, folks. Sorry, but y'all asked. And so, somehow, Terry, because I had a 4-hour window to leave home. Mm-hmm. But I also want to do some grocery shopping. So in 3 hours, we managed to program a drum track, including figuring drums that didn't sound like ass, digital drums that didn't completely sound like ass, which I think I did okay with the mix on that for the drum sound. What's up, Tea-Cake?
Cheers, Tony.
Well, there we are, Guitar Man 45. I'll end the show with it again tonight, too. I'll even play it partway through. Who knows? We got 76 people watching. Awesome. Please leave a thumbs up. And so, what you hear there, Trev, one side is the LPD 87 into a virtual JCM 800. I think that's the left side. And then for the right side, for Terry's favorite ear, that's the same pedal into a virtual AC 30. because that's what you do.
Model.
You know, Aaron will tell you flat out right away. That's what you like. If you're recording through a Marshall and you need a different tone, just take the same rig and plug it into a box.
Complementary but different, right?
I did not know that. Who just said that? Where? Blackjack Guitar. Mike wrote and played the theme song for Dave's in Texas. I had no idea on that.
Oh,
Hello, Richard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, so we got the 2 guitar tracks.
I forgot about that.
Earls. Right? Oofta. And so, 2 guitar tracks. I forgot to send a copy to Aaron. And and then I laid down a bass track. I think I used an Ibanez bass. I don't know, Terry. Into some virtual amp, but with some virtual pedals as well, because I didn't want a stock sound. I got to give it a little grease. Gotta grease it. And then I had to make up a guitar solo, because let's be honest, I had to relearn how to play the damn song. What was that, about 6 months ago, Trev? I don't remember how to play it. Well, I hadn't played it in a year plus, right?
Yeah.
And so we did, I started a guitar solo, and I kind of had a half solo I used to play when I played it on the live streams, Terry. But that was only about half of a solo, so then I wrote the rest of the solo on, a few passes to get it right. And then came down to mixing it up, which Jason was mixing as we're laying down each track. And and then we've, compressed, I don't know what he does, whatever. Digitals it, and next thing you know, I got an MP3 of Greasy Weasel.
Nice. Turned out really good.
Thank you.
It really has.
And then we're here to compress through the YouTubes and everything like that too, right?
You should spin it again, because when you started, there was 20 people there. Now there's 73.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good option to do a poll.
Do we spin it? Who wants to hear this song? Who wants to hear the Greasy Weasel track? Greasy Weasel. Greasy as fuck. Terry and his clicky clickers.
There we go. I put up a poll.
Polling.
Guitar 45 says I know. Now, as I recall, Terry, I know, Billy, I know. And the funny part is the lead tone was different. We actually used it was, you're going to love this, Terry.
Rock Daddy. Cheers, brother.
You're going to love this, okay? So we need a different tone. So he looks and he brings up Guitar Rig 6, which is like Amplitude or one of those. And he says, hey, do you like Pete Thorne? And I went, yeah, he's a good guy.
Much?
What's up, Randy Price? And so he's like, okay. No, he's like, do you like his tone? I was like, yeah, I guess so. It's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, he's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. And he looks, he's like, thanks. He says, you're the one guy that would ever come into my studio that knows Pete. Well, so we went, it was called Epic Lead Tone or Rockin' Lead Tone or something. So, and then, so we did that. And that was the lead tone you heard. So, all right, how are we doing here? Oh, somebody actually voted no.
Right.
We got a 4% in the nose. All right, well, they can plug their ears. What's up, Dwight Bailey?
Hey, Dwight.
All right, well, let's end the poll because we only had 46 votes.
All right.
Don't need to share it. Already did it, Trev.
I see.
All right, so here you go, folks. It's a minute and 50. I don't know how well it's going to come through, but we'll play it. Well, minute and 51. It's like a pop hit from the 50s. It's only a minute and 51.
It's
all the cymbal trail at the end.
So cool, man.
And
Thank
the
you for
actual
time.
bad water at the end.
I still can't believe we knocked that out in 3 hours.
Right?
Well, I mean, for the most part, you really had most of the foundation laid down, and it's not an overly complex song. So, I mean, I think anyone that has any decent amount of like engineering and mastering skill would be able to do that exactly like how you said in 3 hours.
You think though I would have practiced it before going into the studio, but I hadn't played that song in a couple of months prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I used my EVH Wolfgang for the guitar. It was used up because that's the guitar into the LPD 87 that I wrote the song with. So I went, that's it. So, yeah. But I appreciate kind words. Yeah, I gotta hear it more for the spread because we were trying to leave room for everything. And
Well, that's why I said over headphones, it's really well mixed left and rights and balanced well.
awesome. Yeah, you guys are wearing cans, so you'd hear it better than me.
Yeah. Definitely some complementing
Yeah.
of tones going on in there.
I'm quite proud of it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
It's a foot tapper because I was sitting here with my foot tapping. So,
I could tell. Well, I noticed that when we were playing as the intro tonight, you were air guitaring along, Terry. I was watching you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and apparently Ryan, you just missed the song. Ryan, you'll have to catch it at the end. Welcome, my friend.
Or in replay.
Just scroll back about probably 2 minutes.
Yep. And so it went smooth enough that Jason had said, "Hey, if you got another song you want to do, if you want to hit me up every couple of months and come in and use the studio, I'm more than welcome."
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's true, Eddie. Yeah, if you made the verses longer, and because it actually starts with a chorus and then goes into the verse. Thanks, Dennis. What's up,
I
Dennis?
don't know. I honestly think that that song is probably right as an instrumental.
It just sounded to me, Terry, like when I wrote that, it just sounds like the intro to like an 80s pro wrestling show on Saturday afternoon. With a montage of
Actually,
moves. You know what I mean? Welcome to Saturday afternoon wrestling.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, we were talking a while back, leaving as a instrumental and using it for commercial use. Well, as you know, somebody's weekly podcast has been using a version recorded on my phone for years. Shout out Cousin Doug, Down Back Cornhole podcast. But now that he's moved on to now doing the ACL broadcasts, they're looking at possibly using it for ACL live streams.
Hey, and that version there is perfect for.
Exactly. Well, for a 2-minute break, essentially, and then you'll have a touch of dead air, on each end, which is going to be your 5-second bumper on each end. So, what's up, River Docs?
I'm just thinking.
Video from today.
I'm just thinking about what you just said about that. It sounds like it would be perfect for wrestling. I could see that some really, really low level indie Ontario wrestling promotion that starts off and and here's our next match. It's Trevor the Stickman versus Ben the Stickman.
Oh, I don't know about that, Terry. Somebody decided to weigh himself last night.
Oh,
Somebody, I'm not saying who, Terry, but somebody put on 20 pounds since last fall. I'm not saying who.
Jesus.
There was an oof de May. When that scale hit, I went, oof de May. Yeah, totally Maple Leaf Wrestling, Patrick Trites.
exactly. But hey, I'd love to shift some of my weight to you. If it was
I
only
used to play it
possible.
at the end of every show. That was the closing. I close out each show playing the song.
But, I mean, this is a time of year where usually you kind of crest. right? We're getting the lawnmowers out. We're getting them started. We got to start pushing those things around. We're going to start getting a lot more steps in over the next few months.
It's have to be over to play some cornhole too. Like it's the walking back and forth, Terry.
Yeah, just
sweating in the sun.
Also, the simple fact is, as I can say from the years that I had to take care of my mom too, in Ben's case, looking after his dad, you also don't tend to be very active as what you might normally be.
This is the thing, Terry. Like even, let's say going out grocery shopping, right? You're walking around for whatever, 45 minutes, right? Pushing a cart. Yeah. Especially get a wonky wheel, then there's some,
carry the
strength involved. Baskets. But the thing was, I noticed, Terry, and I mentioned it in this week's vlog video, because whenever I go anywhere, I always reset the trip thing on the van.
Odometer?
Yeah, the odometer. Thank you. Because I know how far it is to a certain place, so I know exactly, I have a ETA running in my head at all times, right? Like, I know it's 23.9 kilometers to my sister's house. So I know when I'm at 21, I'm a couple minutes away, So, as such, I got in the van to go to the studio on Thursday, Terry, and I realized I haven't driven the van since I got home last Thursday.
Oh, jeez.
I hadn't left in a week. I'm like, woof. Fair amount on stage, Billy. You get the hot lights on you, you start sweating balls, moving around.
Yeah, it depends on, how much you play.
A dime bag type player, he burned a lot of calories. Angus Young, he burns a lot of calories.
Angus burns all the calories.
But the guitar player for the Steve Miller Band doesn't burn a lot of calories. All of them, they just pretty much stand there.
You have to think about it in this aspect as well, too, about burning calories playing guitar. Because I even said that as well, too.
Yep.
If you're moving your arm, you're moving your fingers, you're doing things in general. You're using a lot of small muscles in your body.
Standing up.
Yes.
You have the added weight hanging on you.
Now you're talking.
Yep.
Taking steps.
Like, if you were doing it for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, it doesn't count much. If you're doing it an hour, a couple hours a day, you can burn, a decent amount of minimum calories. Like, 200-300 or so.
You know what burns calories? Gigging. Load in all that gear before performing. Yep. Right? And then perform. And then load it all out again.
That's a couple.
Microcosm,
right?
And yet shoegaze players are always skinny. Well, that's based on other lifestyle choices to go along with the shoegaze.
Yes,
before cross training was cool. Just moving my gear around.
So yeah. So that brings us into Friday.
Friday.
As Dad had been going downhill, and I wasn't noticing it as much on Thursday because my brain was mush after doing the recording. Like, remember, you and I talked, Trev. You're like, hey, you want to hang? I'm like, no, my brain's mush. Lucas and Martin were live. They're like, hey, do you want to jump on? No, my brain is mush. I'm good. And so, and like, Dad's spirits were good, but physically he wasn't doing well, Terry. It got to, like, I was up at midnight helping him take his meds. And then I was like, okay, when are your next meds? He says, 4 a.m. I said, okay, what are they for? He says, they're for my tremors. So it wasn't like a crucial thing. Mm-hmm. It is, but it isn't, like blood pressure. That's crucial, right? Stuff. Tremors, not as much. And then I got up. He woke me up at 7 in the morning as he was thirsty. And at that point, he hadn't taken his meds, and it was taking him half an hour just to roll over in bed. Yeah. He was saying. So I was like, okay. And that's from like one side to the other. It's like, get onto his back, have to rest. So I'm like, okay. And so I knew something was up. And he's like, can you cancel the PSW for today? And, may need to call the doctors, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, this is at 7 in the morning. I'm like, I'm not thinking straight. I'm not a 7 a.m. I'm a 7 p.m. person, yes. 7 a.m., not so much. So went back to bed. tried to sleep for a couple hours, which was restless at
It's
best.
next to impossible.
Oh, I had, I don't know, 46 anxiety attacks in that next 2 hours. I'm going to say, Terry, it was just one after another. And so I knew my body's telling me something's up, without me realizing it. Messaged my sister to give her a call. And I'm like, hey, can you come over here? Yeah, if nothing, I'll spend the day over here. I need the companionship. I need to, She came over, and within 10 minutes had Dad talked into going to the hospital to get checked out.
All right.
I'm like, great. But Terry, being my father, the king of the naps, at 10:30 a.m., he agreed to go to the hospital. He did not go to the hospital until 3:30 in the afternoon because it involved 3 naps.
Jeez.
Had something to eat, took a nap. Took his noon meds, took a nap. Started to get dressed, took a nap. Finished getting dressed. I'm like, I'm calling at this point, Dad. You sleep in the ambulance.
Gotta go.
And so we got him into the ambulance. That was fun. I had to help, which whatever. I'm used to helping. And so got him off, and then my sister was going over to spend time with him to be his voice, we'll say. And I don't do a hospital. I draw the line. It really affects my anxiety, Terry. Like the want is there, but I start getting clammy as soon as I walk in the door. And that's before I even get to the situation of being
Not a very comfortable place to be.
No, I get very so.
It's
You're in the
not
hospital
easy.
and you're local to me. Don't expect me to visit, is what I'm saying. So I'll talk to you on the phone. I'll keep you company on the phone all day from the hospital, but I'm not going unless I have to. And so Amanda was there. It turns out Dad has some form of a bladder infection. I don't know what, which was causing pain and stuff. So he's being taken care of. Same as they're going to take a look at his legs because he's losing mobility in his legs more and stuff. So again, basically they're going to give him the whole maintenance check, Terry, the 45-point maintenance check, and get him taken care of. He's going to be there for several days because there's one little minor procedure they're going to do, and they're not letting him heal at home. They're going to make sure he's there to heal.
No,
which,
that's
hey, great.
They're doing that.
So,
It'll
I
be
knew what
important.
was good, Terry, was one, my sister was like, oh, this doctor's so awesome. He's totally listening to Dad. I'm like, that's good. But then 9:30 on a Friday night, his actual physician was there as well to get the lowdown. So I was like, wow, okay, this is good.
Yes.
What's that spider I forgot to get rid of earlier? You're like, what? I shot a video in here earlier and I got distracted by a spider. So I just got distracted again. So I appreciate the well wishes, and my sister had popped into Phil McKnight's chat from the hospital briefly, and so I was like, people reach out to me like, oh, sorry about your dad. And I'm like, how do you know, type thing. And so I appreciate all the kind words, folks, and if you're religious, pray. I'm not religious, so just positive vibes. That's all.
And if you're not religious, positive vibes. But what you're saying, though, is actually a common thing that occurs when you're bedridden because you don't have the ability to move properly. So, like, when you said that, it's like, it's something I understand because even with my mom, it was the same thing. You can get all kinds of complications when you're bedridden and in your dad's situation. So, it's awesome that he's getting to the hospital. It's doubly awesome, and thank you, Amanda, for also stepping up and giving Ben a break because
100%.
this as well is going to give Ben a break.
That was the thing, Terry, not to interrupt, but like my sister said, like Friday evening, she's like, he's going to be in there overnight, guaranteed, like relax tonight, let loose, basically. So, Trev here and Charles 75N, the three of us got together on one of these type hangs off air. I got pretty damn relaxed, is what I'm going to say. I was really relaxed by the end of that call. I was starting to nod a bit, Terry, by 10 p.m. because it 5 hours a night for the last couple of nights of intermittent sleep type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we hung out from
I
about
think.
7 Eastern till 10. Well, oh crap! Oh yeah, I should have one of them. I never did crack that open. Anyway, so
Remember the time?
awesome, Mark. Yeah, we just need a sunny day, Mark. Believe me. And so, yeah, we just hung out here, and I played some guitar, and we shot the shit, and told some lies and some long tales, and we had Charles giggling. And Trev knows I started yawning by 9 o'clock. It was catching up to me, and by 10, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go grab a snack, and probably head to bed. And I crashed hard. Now, I'm lucky, Terry. I really like 8 hours sleep if I can, but usually I'm lucky to get 6.5 to 7, and then I wake up in pain because my hips fucked up. Okay. Well, we had a couple extras of these, right? And so 9.5 hours, and I woke up and I was so rested. And I went, wow. Okay. Yes, sir.
I'd like the record to state that Ben did dime his Marshall that night.
I did.
Mazel.
Because
Nobody else around.
we
Poor
realized
cat upstairs. Didn't hear from the cat for 3
the
days.
cat was pissed. But because we realized I'm home alone, I'm not disturbing anybody.
But I mean, that's chicken soup for the soul. A dime Marshall.
God blew out the left ear.
Yeah.
May not notice it, but that's medicine. That's doing some good for sure.
Mm-hmm. I
Except
thought
for
Charles
your
just wanted me to do
tinnitus.
it again.
Yeah.
I was like, that might be loud.
But yeah, getting back to like what I was saying,
It has
you know,
been a
all the-
blur, BC Rich.
All the things that I experienced, like I said, for that pretty much that last 8-year span of her life, like you're saying, Ben, you don't get a lot of time where you actually can get a good solid sleep.
No.
You're
Well,
lucky if you can get.
It's not so much
6.
that. It's I'm always on call because
Yeah. Well,
if Dad needs something, I literally sleep with my phone next to my head. So that's why if anybody messages me late at night, I get really pissed off when you send me shit late at night because phone goes off. I think Dad's having a problem, and I look and it's Terry sending me a meme of Quentin James. So I was like, well, that's funny, Terry, but it ain't fucking funny at midnight. It's funny at 4 in the afternoon. But so sorry for that rant, folks. But
yeah, it's either the phone call or the on the floor to you downstairs.
yeah,
Dave's not home. Dave's not home.
exactly,
Max.
always on call. So yeah, it was nice to kind of have my phone off in a sense. And I think my brain knew it because there was notifications on my phone overnight, Trev. I didn't hear a single one of them.
Like
That's
times
good.
like now, I have my phone silenced, and I'll go to bed and I'll forget to turn it back on. I'll wake up in the morning and there's like 13 different notifications sitting there waiting. Didn't miss it. I'll catch up.
Neighbors were okay. Yeah, actually, because this side we got like a field before the next neighbor, so no big deal. And that side, she's been traveling a lot since her husband passed away. So visiting because I get her husband was randomness, but my next door neighbor, he was battling cancer for quite a while, and so as such, they were at home. So, and that was and then before that was COVID. So she's got family coast to coast. So she's like, I'm visiting all my sisters, keep an eye on the house, and blah blah. I'm like, give her Susie. She's like, I'm going to my sister's for 3 weeks in Newfoundland. I'm like, awesome. Get liquored up. Like.
Right.
So, and thinking of your mom, Ryan, I think she had a fall, he had said somewhere.
Yeah.
Something to do with the dentist. It was bad.
So, yeah, falls are the worst. Falls are the worst. So,
But
yeah. So
Yeah,
let's keep positive vibes going for family members and stuff. And
100%.
you know what, Terry? I'm going to mention it. To quote Henning Pauly, and he had mentioned it, and I'm going to go one up is tell people you love them, and you don't have to share DNA to be family. you don't have to share, because there's a lot of family in this chat right now.
Yeah.
You know, and if you see somebody, give them a hug. Everybody can use a hug. Hugs are great.
Yep.
Unless your back is fucked up. Then it can hurt. But then again, it might pop it and make it better. So give her. It's worth taking the risk.
It's worth the risk. Yeah, absolutely.
Hank's Original Root Beer. Oh. Thank you, Graphite. No, that's a welcome distraction. I'm like, ooh, a new root beer. Oh, Terry, speaking of which, because I was able to do the grocery shopping on Thursday, but since my brain was mush from Dad and the recording, the look I was getting from the cashier, she's like, really? This is your groceries? You know, because it was just randomness. But the thing was, there was 2 cases of pop. Okay? You're going to love this. So, you know, 1 case was this, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
The other case was this. She's just like, root beer? Apparently it's quite the root beer. So, yeah. All the root beer. I didn't get a case of mug while I was there for the trifecta, but...
Yeah, and I'll further...
Okay, Patrick says no hugs for me. I would rather have my personal space. All right, can I do a fist bump at least?
Yeah.
Virtual fist bump if you don't like touching. That's fine. You know,
I'll,
which is like kind of like just the nod across the room.
yeah.
I mean, at the very least, the elbow bump, right?
Yep.
And I'll...
You do have some weird cousins, Herb. And if you don't think you have any weird cousins, that means you're the weird cousin. You're like, my family's totally normal. No, they're not. You're the weird one then.
But I'll interject
Nothing
as
wrong
well
with that.
too. Again, with my experience with this with my own mom, you know, the worst part too is like, you know, you're gonna get this opportunity to get a break. Unfortunately, though, with all the wear and tear and everything else you've already had going on, it's going to take you probably that whole time before you're finally wound down. And by that
Right.
time you finally do wind down, your dad's going to be back home and it's going to be back on.
But that's okay too, because that just means I've
Yeah.
recharged the
Yeah.
batteries to a certain extent, and excuse me, and two, having the respite care come in once a week, you know, over the last month has been a help to a certain extent.
For sure.
It definitely helped with my sanity when it started to occur more.
And you know, a few people have checked in on me this weekend, which I do appreciate. But honestly, I'm doing better now than I was a few days ago because Dad's in the hands of professionals, not me. Because believe me,
There's
you don't
people
want
that
me in
care,
charge
they're
of
taking a
healthcare.
look, and they're
I
gonna-
don't know. Has anyone seen me work on a guitar? Do you want me working on you? Right?
Okay, Dad, I'm just going to put the G string in. What?
Ben, did you ever play Operation? You know that game with the little guy and the tweezers and the bones? Any good at that?
So somebody asked my top 3 favorite root beers. A&W, Dad's, and
Mug, maybe?
I don't think so.
Not Barks, I don't think.
It's not Barks. No, Barks
I'm
has
a
too
fan
much
of
of
Barks.
the sarsaparilla
I
taste.
like the Bark Scott White.
Yeah. I like a creamier root beer. That's why, like, Dad's is right on the edge because it's kind of halfway in between. And I can't say Hires because I haven't had Hires in probably 25 years.
Oh, God, yeah. Hires hasn't been made for a
So I
while.
have no comment on that one. I haven't tried the Boylans, right? Graphite. So, as I recall, like, I wasn't overly impressed with the Pop Shop. I didn't like the Stewart's. The Stewart's was way too much sarsaparilla.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Stewards. What about the No Name / Peace President's Choice brand stuff?
Most of them are too sarsaparilla tasting for my liking. They're
Yeah.
not creamy. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. All day, all night. Yes, I do like it. Actually, coming out this week, the soda pop tasting will be the Dad's Orange Cream Soda.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
Because, Terry,
Orange
for years,
soda.
you know, orange creamsicles growing up, Hated them. Hated them. Orange and cream should never be together. Now that I'm pushing 50, fucking love it. I gotta try the Faygo root beer. That's a good one to try because they're usually super sweet. I haven't had a Faygo in ages. I gotta go hit that. Where was that store that had all the Faygos? Oh, I remember now.
Yeah, the red, white, and blue. There's a couple Faygos that are actually very accurate in flavor.
Yeah. So, yeah. I have a root beer in the fridge I haven't tried yet, which I picked up over at the Taste of Country store. It's got like Wild West lettering on it. I don't know what it is. So, yeah. Apparently Mark has a new drink for me to do a review on. It's something I might like. I can bring it to you sometime soon when the weather gets better. Sure. Sounds good.
Nice.
Orange sugar and Guinness. Yeah, it's actually the vanilla that'll give it that creamy taste somehow. I don't know how that works. My sister was mentioning that too. But, my sister bought me a crushed lime on Friday, Terry. Because she wanted to go out and get some lunch before I took Dad to the hospital. So I ran. She's like, "Well, what's close by?" I'm like, "I live at the north end of Belleville. Fucking everything." Okay, we go across Bell Boulevard and hit a bunch of restaurants. And if you didn't see the one you like there, I hang a right, which is North Front, where the rest of them all are within 4 blocks. So I'm like, "What do you want? We got it all." So, hey, Jeff Ripplinger. Oh, shout out the patrons. Right at the 1 hour mark. I want to shout out the patrons because they don't have toques in the chat, but they really help things out around here. Oh, excuse me. And I want to shout out, excuse me, all the gas all of a sudden. LRM Guitars, T. Ricky, Guitar Man 45, Cousin Todd Flowers, Doug Strong, Randy Crooks, Mo Hogany, Fruitcake Tony, Blackjack Guitar, Keith H., Paul McNary, Other Left, JP Page 2, John ZD 351, Ben Tom, Jeff K., Mr. Anderson 59, Hot Rod Josh Tanberg, who's missing from the chat tonight, so is Doug Strong, hashtag have young kids, Charles 35N, unfucking believable, Charles Green, Gear Junkie 35, and some guy named Symmetry, never heard of him, but he supports the channel. Just kidding.
I can see him over there.
Yeah, I know it's like
That's me over there.
Hey, Rob Cunningham.
Rob, good to see you, man.
Rob, in case you didn't know, tomorrow night I'm hosting a 1-year anniversary tribute to the passing of David Nesdahl. And I know you knew Dave because that's how I met you. So I thought I would pass that along. Hey, James Severin. Bose says I always look 29. I don't know. Look at the earlier videos. The beard was a lot less gray, Trev. A lot less gray. I have not ever brewed my own root beer, Richard. That'd be interesting to try, though.
Is it more of a sarsaparilla at that point?
I give it a shot. If mahogany had a son, would it be less? No, Charles. That would be if mahogany lost weight. I'm not sure where Terry went, so we're just filling time until he gets back. We'll go a little bit longer here.
Muzzle.
I haven't seen
only
the
been
cat.
an hour and
Yeah,
change.
I haven't seen the cat.
Is it time
Awesome,
for
Rob.
another poll? Do we need to have a
So yes, what we'll mention coming up this week, we got the tribute to Dave Nesdahl tomorrow night.
Yes.
Got the soda pop video for the dad's orange cream soda. And I think the last, on Friday, will be a guitar setup video, because we'll take a break from the acoustics for a week.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, wouldn't next Saturday be the next Water Buffalo meeting?
Good call, Trev. Yes, this coming Saturday will be the next Water Buffalo meeting for channel members and patrons.
Here we are, coming into May. Hot and heavy.
Yeah. We can bloody well warm up then.
And that'll be
And yeah, and Richard just
10
mentioned what about
a.m.
Florida
Pacific
Saturday?
or 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're in the middle, figure it out.
Scott Brockway says, how about some backplate installation video? Fine. That'll be the video on Friday then, Scott, because that's already been shot. Hey, that's one of the 2 bench videos I already have in the can. Because I had a period of opportunity, Terry, the other day, because I noticed I was getting behind on videos, and I thought, hey, Dad's napping. How about we knock out a video? So I did one, and then I did another one right afterwards. So,
And just to kind of wrap up this week of weird and odd things that have gone on.
sure.
A very famous personality also unfortunately
Springer?
passed away. Jerry Springer at the age
Well, I thought
of
you meant Harry
79.
Belafonte.
Jerry.
Yeah,
I was like, Harry Belafonte passed away at 93.
Yes, that is another big one, but
I would consider that even more important than Jerry.
That's a huge one.
Harry
Yep.
Belafonte. You hear me coming. I
but
wanna
Jerry
go
Springer
home.
passed away 79 of cancer.
Yep.
So
I should only hope for, at the very least, for myself.
Uh,
I'd be happy
Richard
if I got to
asked,
79.
hey, Ben, you've been seen playing a few acoustics lately. Are you in the market? No. What that was is that was my second week out, and I knew that it's really easy to shoot a quick demo on an acoustic, and I was able to create a lot of content while I had a window of opportunity. And since our friends over at Arden's Music have a wonderful acoustic room at their Kingston store, they got like 100 guitars in there, so I just went in one day and I think I knocked out those 6 demos in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
40, 45 minutes. Well, there was tuning. Believe me, there was tuning in between. And there was a customer coming in and trying acoustics, so I couldn't really film while they're there.
How
It
many
didn't sound like a
sales-
man video.
how many
Terry,
sales did you
where every
get
time
that
I'm
day,
talking and someone playing guitar right behind the he was seated right behind the camera too. So yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Usually
yes.
when you walk into a store, Ben, you get a couple of sales. I mean, did you get any sales that day? Did you convince anyone
did,
to buy a
actually.
guitar?
I did. A guy who walked out of there with a Martin.
Nice.
I mean,
Cheers,
I move
Elephant
along.
Foot Risers. Thanks for stopping in, my friend. And everyone, check out elephantfootrisers.com.
Yeah.
And tell them I sent you when you place your order, and you get an extra pedal riser. I'm just saying.
Double
Who doesn't like
nice.
free stuff?
Double
And yes,
mint gum.
on Saturday, Terry, I believe, yesterday, the one and only, the mighty, there's Josh. All right, late, but the Galaxy has a new trainee. That's a valid excuse.
Nice.
That's like rebuilding a pedal board, but heavier. So,
Yeah.
fair enough. Happy birthday to the
Good
one
for
and only
people.
Willie Nelson, 90 years old.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
that's a very big one too.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes to prove like all these people that are naysayers about cannabis a little bit
Smoke
as
weed
well
every
too.
day.
Like 90 years old.
Right. Although he doesn't, I don't think he smokes anymore. I think it's mostly just edibles and possibly a bit of vaping.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
But it's all
I
in the
get it
same
because
ballpark.
he still sings for like and stuff. You still got to perform, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I mentioned
Oh,
stuff coming out
nice.
this week, which gets us through till next Sunday. Who's the guest next Sunday? Don't know. Waiting for a reply from a text. Not going to mention who you are if you're watching on replay. He might be
Bo-
gigging this weekend, so I don't know what's up. So
Bo
also, I got to
apparently
reach
is
out.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just saying I got to reach out to somebody else about a Monday show, but gotta hold off. Oh, and I should mention while I think of it, because we're at 63 people and it's the hardcore 63. There'll be a slight change on Sundays for a little while, which is the fact I'm not going to be putting as much effort into booking Terry because because of Dad and stuff. So it's going to be more returning guests. That is, it's an easy conversation for me. just a laid back hang. Like you'll probably see Aaron again. Damn near monthly. Highlight reel friends. So yeah, great to see Doug made it. So yeah, there will be that going on.
I was just going to say,
folks, just because it's like, do I really want to? As much as I want to, it's hard because if I get somebody totally new, Terry, I want to do a bit of research, and that's effort and time, and so it's just easier to like, hey, here's
how
Trev,
your dad is at the moment,
and I could just shoot the shit with Trev for an hour and a half, and I know it's going to be easy, and it'll be someone that's returning that I know people already like, and so maybe I don't know. Oh yeah, and then in 2 weeks is Mother's Day, so that's my sister's coming on, and then the week after that's my birthday. So we'll have a group hang for my birthday. Well, actually, my birthday's on the Monday, but we're gonna do the boot. We'll do the group hang on the Sunday, and then the Canucks show will be the birthday recovery show.
The hangover show.
Birthday hangover show.
I was just going to simply add that Boa said that he's pre-ordered the Martin D28 Street Legend.
Yes, he has.
Interesting.
He's also ordered a greenie as well, the Gibson USA greenie. I remember you mentioned the other day. Yeah, there's stuff's coming together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gonna be a bit of show and tell.
Birthday is on Mother's Day. We'll mention. We'll have to do a birthday shout out to that. Somebody's texting. Who's texting me during the show? Oh, okay. Thank you. No, that's a good one. Water Buffalo email. I got the link for the Water Buffalo meeting. So, what's up, Ryan? That's OU812 Ryan. Who's right below Ryan Hall.
Yep.
And thank you, Charles, for the link to the Water Buffalo meeting. So, if you want to get in on the Water Buffalo meeting, click the join button down below or become a patron. They're fun. They're fun. It's like 20, 25 of us hanging out together, showing off guitars, talking gear, talking about life, food.
And it's offline,
weather.
so I mean, you can just totally be yourself. You don't have to worry about being on the internet.
Yeah. And if you don't want to be seen and you just want to lurk, you can do that too. You don't have to turn on your mic and camera. You can just lurk. Like here, and just not, if you're not participating in the chat. Although, we've had people with bandwidth issues who literally participated in the chat of the Zoom.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn your camera on. You can just sit and listen.
But I mean, it's a great opportunity for anyone that might be a little camera shy or
and then also
public shy. Get in.
If you got a new setup and you want to troubleshoot it, we'd be happy to sit there with you and try and help you.
Well, I don't know about that, Trev. No, that's when Charles pulls you into a side room to troubleshoot it. We don't troubleshoot during the group hangs.
Well, we've done some troubleshooting in the group hangs. We have done some
but Charles pulls you into a side room to get figured out with the digitals. Thank you, Keith H, for the super sticker. I do appreciate it. Now I'm going to bring up the YouTube chat and see what the sticker was.
Yeah.
Nice.
It almost
a Tweety bird drinking whiskey. I can totally relate to that.
It looks like a lemon holding up a lime and drinking it.
Kissing, I think. Kissy.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Hey, Joe. Filling gigs are fun. Let it fly and no long-term commitments. Exactly. No expectations, just ever. Love that stuff. So, yeah. I don't know if we got anything else. I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, unless people.
What else are you looking for?
Yeah,
no, I think we had a good show.
Chicken recipes? I got some chicken recipes I'm happy to share.
I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. I want to thank the Mod Squad for monitoring, all you members and patrons for your continued support. Everyone was awesome in the chat. Some great questions and comments. And I'm going to end tonight's show a little different because you may recall, Terry, every time Mike would have me on his channel, he'd make me end his shows.
Dave Chase gifted a membership. Down
awesome.
in New Jersey got it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you, Trev. Yeah, I don't see that part of it for some reason.
That's why I did that.
Yep, I appreciate
We
that.
can do that now.
And so, as Mike would say, Terry, everyone be well and take good care.
I want a big smile
Mm-hmm.
for everybody and a big hug for any of you that need it, and those who don't, little elbow bump. Still
There we
love
go.
you.
Greasy Weasel for a third time tonight?
Yeah.
Here you go, Ryan Hall.